Hello, hello. Great topic that was actually suggested by someone 2 days ago in a live stream. And I think it's an interesting one. It's specific, it's not general, which is better than will my ex come back to me? Do I have a chance? Why does my ex not talk to me? Should I block them? Some of this stuff just gets old, right? And an ex who is currently dating yet open to getting back together. So we can interpret that in different ways, in a lot of different ways, actually, right? But the reality is, what are your morals and values about that? Be honest. Sometimes if your ex starts dating, you're done. You're like, I don't want to compete for you. I don't want to go backwards, or if that's how you feel about it. It really depends on what happened in the relationship and how the breakup went down. So you have a say, you have a choice in how you go about this. And I can't believe they're dating already. I can't believe they're on a rebound. Well, I mean, if you're single and you have high value, you have some confidence, you have some self-esteem, and you meet someone or someone pops up, they have the complete right as a single person to date someone else. And they don't have to tell you about it. They don't have to tell you about it. They don't have to be transparent about it. If you're interested in getting back together with them, what I would do is write your story out and get it to me or someone else and fully unpack it and get really clear on what happened. First and foremost, get really clear on, are the problems fixable? Now, here's the thing that people don't realize. And this is something that I've noticed again and again. Sometimes you break up, the problems at hand are evident to you. They're glaring you in the face as far as what they did wrong. And I'll give you an example. And there's an individual I did a live coaching session with 2 days ago that was supposed to be 1 hour. How you doing, Azam? It was supposed to be 1 hour, ended up being 4 hours. But we had a lot to unpack. And what was interesting is he's in a breakup. He's been broken up for, I believe it's only been a week. It's quite fresh. And the breakup is one of those situations where, like, he had called me up. We are friends. And so he had hit me up and he's like, hey man, let's talk about it. I thought I'd call you. I say, hey, look, make an appointment and I am going to charge you. That way, we can get serious about this and not just have a friend's conversation. Because I'll tell you what, a friend's conversation is different than me setting an appointment, dialing in, and you writing out your story. And the funny thing is, he was like, oh, I don't need to write it out. I'm like, write it out and send it to me. And even if, listen, sometimes people write out the story, and during the live coaching session, depending on their character and the type of person they are, they could just take the mic and literally go, all right, I'll just continue to tell the story. That being said, the writing of the story, the value is you're getting sequence, you're getting clarity as you write it. And so therefore, when we talk and I touch on things, you're more clear. You're not as scattered about the situation. And so I literally read 2 lines of his story and he just took over, and that's just his style. He wanted to tell it the way he wanted to tell it. That being said, there was value in me seeing the story first. There was value in him writing it first. And I think Azam had just told me recently that he had written out his story, and it's therapeutic in some ways because you haven't mapped out what happened. You're kind of just taking what happened as it comes. And when you put it into story form, it forces you to organize things and be a little bit more honest. So before you get to the point where you're like, my ex is dating yet open to getting back together, write out your story, get it to me or someone else, talk to a friend about it, but write out your story would be the first thing. And you could, because what you want to get clear on, what am I chasing? Why do I want to get back with him? And I'm going to come back to this question again and again and again. Where are you at in your life as an individual? Where's your ex at in their life as an individual? And so yesterday when I talked, or 2 days ago, when I talked to this gentleman, friend of mine, buddy of mine, and I asked him that question. He's like, bro, I'm fine. I'm good. You know me. Financially, I got a good job. I got this. I got that. I'm in good shape. And then I said, well, where's she at? He goes, oh, fuck, man. She hates her job. Ding, 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 ding. This has come up recently a week ago, a client of mine that I've talked to, I think about 6-7 months ago, she came back. She originally wanted to talk about a situation with her current relationship. She's not broken up, and she just wanted my take on some things. And I immediately asked, like, how's your job going? She's like, well, they're going to give me a raise, this, that, and the other. And then she broke down. She fucking hates the job. If you hate your job, it's going to affect your relationship. A lot of people spend a lot of time at their job, 8, 9, 10 hours, 7 hours. They get their significance from that job. They get their camaraderie from that job. And hopefully they're proud and privileged of what they do. It's not just a paycheck. And it will affect your relationship 100%. And he's like, dude, bro, she hates that job. All she does is complain about it. So getting back to this topic, before you even get to the point where you entertain, my ex is dating yet, open to getting back together, you got to really ask yourself, honestly, what am I chasing here? Do I know the ins and outs of what I want here? Now, when we got to the ins and outs of this individual 2 days ago, he's chasing intimacy and an ex-girlfriend that he thought is extremely hot with 2 T's. Lives in Southern California. He has high standards in the looks department, right? And he knows it. And those are high-value situations for him. So this is what's really interesting in talking to a bunch of different people over the years and talking about breakups. And someone's, oh, everyone's attracted to different things. It's understated how different people are attracted to different people. And it's fleeting. It can change in a day or 2 days where someone's highly attracted to someone else. But people filter for certain things. Some things are more important. It's like looks don't count to some people. Money doesn't count to some people. I mean, when someone states that, they're just saying what they believe. And they just go, yeah, a lot of people agree with me. Or looks don't count and everyone should agree with me. No, that's not true. Because if someone measures that as being important in their relationship, they're going to find out over time that connection and trust are going to win the day in a long-term relationship, and hopefully the attraction's high. I mean, and that's what we got to. I said, well, where's your trust at with this woman? He goes, oh, bro, I trust her. I go, what's out of a scale of 1 to 10? What's your trust? He goes 9, 10. And I go, what does she trust you? He goes 0. I go, what are you chasing? All she does is contact him and tell me he's cheating all the time, right? So before you get to the point of my ex is dating yet open to getting back together, you really got to clear again. What are you chasing? Do you even want to get back with this person? And then you got to ask yourself, with my morals and values and who I am as a person, if this person dated someone, possibly slept with someone else, can I deal with that? Because what happens is someone goes, oh, how many people have you been with? Have you slept with them? Have you done this? Bottom line is they don't have a responsibility to tell you that if they were single. What if you guys have been broken up? A lot of women would find it shameful to share that. They don't want to share that part of their, maybe they hooked up drunk and they were missing you and it was a one-night stand that didn't go really well and they don't really want to tell you about it. But at the same time, you bringing it up, making them feel bad about it, is that going to increase the chances of you guys getting back together? Hell no. And so for some individuals, it's a deal breaker. And if it's a deal breaker from the get-go that someone's been with you already, damaged goods as far as I'm concerned. Are you going to bring that up over and over and over again? Are you going to throw it in their face? Can't believe you slept with someone else. I've had a client before. This individual was chasing his girlfriend for the first couple of weeks. Then they officially kind of went into no contact 1 month. This guy was late 20s, PhD, high up in a career that was very prestigious, had a lot going for him. I'm sure he wouldn't have trouble getting another woman, but he was hung up on this one. They surprise. And this is the thing. Oh, will my ex get back with me? Well, I mean, the more high value you are, right? Which means depending on your environment, what's valued, and that has to do with subcultures and where you live in the world of what's highly valued. If you live in Beverly Hills, sorry to say, finances count, right? Someone's, a woman that is used to a certain lifestyle is not going to date the guy that flips burgers at Burger King. It just doesn't happen. If she does, she might go out with him for physical reasons, but she's not going to claim him, right? That's just how it is. It's not the movies. You might have seen a movie that's true. Dating another person after a breakup makes you suspect their love and genuine desire for you. Sure, I agree. I agree with that. And that's why I'm saying if the person's open to dating and getting back together, you have to be dead honest with yourself. Can I deal with they've been with someone else intimately? Period. If you have trouble with that up front, then you're going to have trouble with it down the road if you're together 3 or 4 months. So let me circle back to the story that I was telling you about. This guy's a PhD. He's in his late 20s, prestigious job. He's a catch. He's going to be able to get other women, right? He's a high-value individual. Gets the girlfriend back. The girlfriend calls him a month, 6 weeks after no contact. I don't know the exact time. Oh, my God, I miss you so much. Let's meet up. They go to dinner. They sleep together. It's rose petals and wine glasses. He wakes up in the morning, and what do you think he does? Wakes up in the morning. They're in bed. They just got intimate again. It was outstanding. She says she loves me. She misses me. And what's his question in the morning? What do you think his question is? Yeah, you don't ask about their romantic past. The question is, my ex is dating yet open to getting back together. The question is, if your ex came back, T-Mac, just to get specific, if your ex was dating someone else but open to the fact, hey, T-Mac, let's get together for lunch. Let's get together. And at the same time, you know she's dating other guys. What do? And you want to get back with her or you don't want to? First, you have to assess, do you want to get back with them and why? But circling back to this situation, this guy wakes up in the morning. They had great intimacy. They're back together after a month of missing each other. He's been wanting her back for all month. She was crying when she called him. He's got everything he wanted. He's got everything in his favor. They slept together. It was outstanding. And he asked the question, have you been with anyone else? And he's telling me the story, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And she goes, why are you asking me? Translation, I don't want to tell you. He goes, well, just tell me it's cool. Like, I just want to know because, you know, I know that I think you were on a dating app and I was on a dating app and I haven't been with anyone, you know, seriously. Well, I mean, we don't have to talk about this. I think that, you know, we just had a good moment. He's like, well, why can't you just tell me? So what happens? Honesty prevails. She goes, well, you know, it's Todd or whatever the guy's name was. I'm just making it up because Todd's just the name that came to my head. You know, Todd at the office, it was a guy she worked with, a guy he knew because he met at a office event. And of course, he thought this guy's a fucking snake. And they went out and they had drinks and they hooked up. And she said it was really bad. And she felt like Todd had taken advantage of her vulnerability and they had gotten drunk together, but, you know, it didn't mean anything. What's he do? Oh, this is what his reaction is. Well, I guess I should keep my name on my dating app up after this. And so she's like, what? First of all, she was embarrassed because she wasn't proud that she had slept with this guy. It wasn't one of those things that meant a whole lot to her. She was drunk. And to her, she was back together with the guy she loved, back in bed with him. And then he asks this question and then starts machine gunning questions about what it was like, how this, oh, maybe I should just keep my dating profile up. I guess it's not that serious. Ruined, completely ruined getting back together. So she retreats into maybe we moved too fast in getting back together. You know, I don't really want to answer this question. I don't feel like I did anything wrong. You're saying you're going to stay on a dating app. We went too fast. You know what? Maybe it's best you left. ... And then he's calling me up to talk about it. And I'm like, look, you know, you weren't ready and you don't own her. And she was single. And so the question is, my ex is dating yet open to getting back together. Can you deal with the truth? A few good months. You can't handle the truth. Can you? It's a good fucking question. And I would wonder, do you think Sabina's on deck? And I always respect her opinion. Do you think that women give a guy more of a free pass if the guy's been intimate with some other women in between them maybe dating or entertaining the idea of getting back together post-breakup. Because to me, it's not an individual's responsibility once you've broken up to tell you what they've been doing. Then you put them on the spot. Then they have to tell you. Then you feel like shit. Then you get upset. Then you get angry at them. It's confusing. And then you lose sight of the present moment of, should we get back together? Well, we just got a fight in the first 24 hours and you made me feel shameful, embarrassed. I have to explain myself. I think that most women, not all, because there are some jealous women, absolutely. I think most women, and this has to do with confidence, would say they care. They would be less apt to ask. They would be less apt to hold a guy accountable. And there's some subcultures of women that go, well, that's just how a guy is. The guy can't trust her, plus he is immature and insecure and quite selfish. Why would you say he's selfish, Sabina? Because like I said, it's do you want to know? So if you know the person's dating someone, if I'm going to entertain it and they're going out with someone and they say, oh yeah, I've been dating, I say, good for you. But that being said, if it bugs you from the get-go, then you shouldn't be revisiting the relationship. And that's okay, because certain individuals' morals and values line up and they go, wait, no bueno. No, 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 no. Mayao, which means no want in Thai, means I'm not up for that. Sometimes it's curtains for someone when they go, you started dating, I'm done. And for some guys, if that's your morals and values and that's how you stand, that's how you roll with it. But if you're going to revisit things and then become an interrogator of their past situation, all you're doing is making that person feel bad about themselves. And here's the thing, attraction 101. People remember you for how you make them feel. And I mean, that goes with making them laugh. That goes with compliments. That goes with comfort. That goes with trust. And so if you interrogate an individual about who they've been with in the last month, 2 months, 3 months, because let's face it, when you come out of a breakup, I've talked about this many times, you're going to go on some bad dates. I don't want to talk about it. You might have hooked up with someone. It didn't work out. You might have been vulnerable. It didn't work out. I don't want to explain that to someone, right? And then when someone asks more and more questions, it's kind of like, where are we going with this? Where does it end? And I've talked to many people before on both ends of this. And the other end of it is, there was an individual that I helped out a while back where she was in a relationship and they were in their 20s, mid to late 20s. And the guy wanted to know her history. This is a little different situation because it's not an ex entertaining the idea of getting back together. They were together, and the guy was absolutely appalled that she had been with numerous men. And I don't know what the number was. She didn't explain it to me, but this individual wasn't overly promiscuous in any way. She was actually a bit conservative by most standards. And the guy just couldn't let it go that she had been with someone else. And he made her feel like a slut. He made her feel like, which is a strong word. And if you're going to entertain going back with an ex that's been dating, pack your confidence pack, dude. Know what it is. You're okay. Here's my thing. If you want to ask questions about it to kind of just get a feeling, I wouldn't suggest it. I wouldn't recommend it. But if you do, be prepared for them saying, yeah, we had really good sex and the guy left. I mean, be prepared for anything and being able to be like, okay, right? Are you able to do that? I know in my 20s, probably, I couldn't do it. I was too much of an ego. I would be, you hooked up with someone else, especially if I knew the person, it would be really difficult for me. Now, I'd like to believe that I have enough confidence and self-esteem to do it, but I wouldn't know until I was in the moment. Okay. I would like to believe if they started dating someone, it'd probably be curtains for me, because at that point, it's not necessarily that I think that it's bad what they're doing. I think that they've taken 2-3 steps forward, and I'm not judging them for dating. But at that point, let's not compete when we've been together for years. If that person what I'd say is once that person started dating and they're open to, dating me, it would need to be 6 months or a year later. Smoke would have to clear from the situation. I've got rice and beans, dried food, and a gun. I'd be like, what are you going to do for me? First, you get the rice and beans, then you get the power, then you get the woman. Okay, interesting take. Selfish. She's betrayal me. She was with someone else. She should be just mine, no matter what. Selfish as jealous. Okay. A lot of guys feel like that's mine, and I think the major part of it is it's a blow to the ego. It's a blow to the ego. If we're going to be simple about it, it's ego based. Which, hey, as Rob likes to talk about alpha males have an ego, right? And so they're going to be upset if someone was with their women. That's when they have to go, well, if she's been dating someone else and it bothers me, then don't revisit it. If you're that good with women and you're that capable, then you start dating yourself. But here's the part that people don't realize about this whole situation. Here's the thing that everyone's not addressing. If your partner goes out and dates and they're open to dating you again, most likely, not for sure, because nothing's certain, most likely they haven't found another one that matched up with you, or they won't be leaving the door open. They still have feelings for you, but they're saying, we broke up, we had reasons to break up, and I don't want to revisit the relationship, and I don't want to just get back easily. I want to make you work, and I want to work at it, and I want to leave. I haven't been single in 2 years or 3 years. I want to see what it's like. And you got to ask your question, am I up to the challenge to compete? Is this person playing a game with me, trying to get my attention? I don't know. Individually based, there's not an answer that fits all. You got to be honest with yourself. Like I said, I wouldn't want to be dating a woman. This is where it goes into different little intricacies of the situation. If you were dating someone for 3 years, 4 years, or I don't even call it dating, you're with them, right? You break up, a month goes by, no contact. You kind of meet up for lunch. She goes, hey, look, I really want to still see you, but I really want to leave the door open for dating. I want to see other guys. I haven't been single for 3 years, but I do miss the hell out of you, and I'd like to see you. Some would say, oh, you want your cake and eat it too. What if I was the guy, I would consider maybe that's the kind of thing I want. Maybe I want the door open too. The problem is if you were together 3, 4, 5 years, your subconscious is built in that you're officially together. And no matter what, after 1 date or 2 dates or 3 dates, and she gets a call and she checks her phone, she's like, oh, that's Tyrone. Oh, fuck, we're supposed to go out later on tonight. Fucking, oh, yeah. And she does that in front of you. You're going to drop down to ground zero. Like, what? Who's this guy? That guy? I mean, can you sit there and be in a frame where you're like, oh, no problem? Most likely someone's going to get upset, or they're going to go, oh, Lucy just texted me. Ha, ha, ha. And then it becomes a tit for tat game. Let me get into the comments here. If he thinks she hurt his feelings, even they were not together, by joining dating app, that's selfish. It's all about him, the ego issue. Man shouldn't be more emotional than a woman and act from anger. So a man shouldn't be more emotional than a woman. What do you mean by that, Sabina, if I may ask? Because I do respect your opinion. It is a blow to the ego to move on immediately. I think so, Zom. I mean, some guys would be like, I'm like, it's a blow to the ego. Yeah. And I believe that women pivot quicker and more easily than men out of a relationship. They get more attention immediately. They have more options. And if a woman's down emotionally or out of a relationship, men will still pursue her. She's single. She's good looking. She's this. She's available. A man who's out of a breakup and seems down and out is not very attractive to women. You have to love yourself. Taking someone back when dating says you don't value or respect yourself. I don't agree, T-Mac. I agree that you have to love yourself. If someone else is dating someone else, just know the game you both are playing. So if you say like, fuck, that's fine with me because I'll date myself, fine. But someone will probably get caught in the crosshairs and catch feelings. The other part of it, like I said, do you want to compete to get this person back? How important are they to you? So it's individually based. Some people could do this. I would love to hear a story where someone says, I went back to an ex, and I'm trying to think of my own journey in my own life. No, I just thought back. I've had a couple exes where we were talking. One ex, we were seeing each other for the gray area, I would call it, of a breakup in my early 20s and still hooking up. And I thought that was great, cake and eat it too kind of thing. And then immediately she started dating other guys, subtly rubbing it in my face. And I wasn't showing that it upset me, but I eventually started dating someone myself. The main thing, the number one thing you want to do with this, if they start dating someone else, don't be a victim. That's it. That's what I tell you not to do. Oh my God, I can't believe you're dating. I can't believe you did this to me. Did this to you? I went on a date for myself. Don't be a victim. If you don't like what they're doing, don't be around it. If you feel like you got the frame, you got the confidence to compete, or you got the frame and you got the confidence to say, oh, you're dating? Good for you, hun. Well, let me know which day you're available. Could you do that with confidence and shine? Sure. Feels like the relationship didn't mean anything and you had no impact on them. I don't see Azam in different cases. Some women this is their way of dealing with the hurt. I've heard of women telling me before, like, in other words, I want to find someone immediately to fill this void. And so it's not personal. It's, in other words, they're not good at being lonely or licking their wounds. I mean, nothing get an ex back like jealousy and hitting their ego hard. Certain ones, yeah, I wouldn't agree to that. Okay, then that's your morals and standards. I respect that. Of course, the person who dumps you is going to date. Wishful thinking to think otherwise. In most cases, yes. If she is not mentally strong and intelligent, she hasn't been home knitting sweaters the last 7 months. Of course, there are exceptions, but jealousy triggers primal emotions. Good point, bud. They do. It's easier and they have more options. Plus, men make it easy. I agree. Getting dumped is a huge blow to the ego. Crushed mine. And at some point, T-Mac, the only way out of that pit and out of being crushed is to change the narrative. You didn't get dumped. It had to happen. Someone's like, well, no, I did get dumped. No, that's a frame and interpretation you're putting on it. I never like to say I got dumped. The reasons for breaking up were different. Don't put yourself there, period. I think most guys, though, will default to being the victim. It's a tough thing, right? It's a tough thing, Rob. And like I said, here's the thing, what I'm suggesting, the minute you feel like you're going into victim type language, catch yourself and stop that motherfucker in your head and go, I'm not a victim. More emotional as a woman when the masculine energy is not in balance and a man that has no emotions, feelings, and control. I'm not. I wanted her back at first because of the anxiety, but now that I'm settled down, I have no interest in dating or women at all. Wow. So you're going asexual, T-Mac? That's true. Men have been ashamed into being afraid to be perceived as chauvinistic, but we have to be strong and lead. It's a fine line. And it's cultural. It depends on what culture you live in. But at the end of the day, someone I know was just telling me how her current boyfriend that just became her ex, one of the things she liked about the guy was that he had a strong frame and that he was mysterious, that she couldn't figure him out. Azam, too much craziness right now to think about it. These things feel very surreal right now with my city being shut down. Okay. Yes, T-Mac, and a lot of mothers' mistakes, the way they raise their sons. Well, what I would say to that, Sabina, though, at a certain level, with the information that's available on the internet now, that you are a victim to your childhood till you realize that you can reframe the story. Because think about the people out there that have had a tough childhood or had tough things, and they've been extremely successful. At some point in their life, they've used it as fuel and changed the frame of the story. And so part of that is, Sabina, and I agree with you. I'm saying that if you, there was a client of mine, still a client of mine because we talk regularly, and he had a big issue with his father. His father made him feel like he could do nothing right. He never got credit for anything. He was a straight A student when I think he was in the 4th grade, and his dad said, well, that's still not good enough somehow. I mean, how do you even tell someone when they get straight A's, you still can't compliment them? And then his parents divorced, and he had 2 older sisters that constantly told him he was just like dad. So he became a really nice guy. And as we unpacked his situations with women, and he came to realize, and he read some books, and we did some coaching, he's pulled a 360, and he's gotten 3 women since. He's elevated so much because he realized the seeds of his pain, and those things that happened when he was a child aren't happening to him now, and he could reverse it, and he could say, hey, wait a minute, I'm not that little kid anymore. Rob, can you give us your meaning of MGTOW? Yes, raised by a single mom. She raised me the way she thought she wanted me to be, but it's a mistake, and boys need fathers to impart masculinity to their sons. I've watched some MGTOW stuff, but it dawned on me that men going their own way spend a lot of time obsessing and talking about women, which is ironic. That is ironic. I'm not extremely familiar with all the ins and outs of MGTOW. I know that they are a group of guys that are dedicated to this, and good for you if you're into that. That's me, hard childhood, had to grow up very fast. I was a child in a war, but came up strong. Crisis is an opportunity. They were talking about, this is really interesting. I forgot where I read this. It might be the book Try by Sebastian Junger, which is an outstanding book, small book, where the people during World War I and World War II were saying that it wasn't that they were happy because of war, but everyone had a purpose, everyone was working together, and everyone had each other's back. So in some senses, for some people, life was more exciting and life was more fulfilled. I'm butchering how he wrote it in the book because it was much more eloquent. But it was really interesting that the character that was built during these times couldn't be equaled in everyday, mediocre life. A guy who walks away from the concept of having relationships for various reasons. The thing I don't like are some of these guys who use the MGTOW title as a means to justify some serious characteristics flaws they have. Oh, man. It's so funny because doing this for a while and listening to people intensely when you talk to them in coaching calls and stuff, you can weed out excuses in lieu of, and they're creative excuses. I was talking to a college student recently who's a top student, gets excellent grades, top of the class, takes school very seriously, and just graduated. And she was saying, well, you just don't have time to clean your room sometimes and do your laundry because you study all the time. And I said, well, is that what you're telling yourself? And she started laughing because you just built in a reason, because there's people out there, believe it or not, I'm not one of them, that love cleaning. They like, it's therapeutic to have a clean day, like to do your laundry, clean the house, right? And it's really, they really enjoy it. So it's not one of those things that, and someone that studies hard can still clean their room or clean their house in 24 hours in a day, and how many hours, 7 days in a week. You could certainly make that a priority. But right, Sabina? So what I'm saying is, and she started laughing because she knew what I meant. And I have another friend I know that doesn't like to work out or exercise. And so this is an individual that spends a lot of money on other things and has quite a bit of money. And so he'll go, oh, wow, the gym's really expensive. Like, who would pay that much? And I'm like, this is the same individual that go out and have a $300 steak dinner. And that's what it would cost. It would cost that to have a personal trainer for 2 months, right? But the same person will complain like, oh, I need to get this weight off. And then I heard him say another thing was like, oh, the reason I've gotten so fat is because so-and-so stocked the fridge with this. Like, there's always some kind of blame instead of going, oh yeah, I just need to go on a diet or go to the gym. Oh yeah, I don't like cleaning. So the alternative to that, the alternative to that is, like I was telling her, I go, well, make enough money where you can hire a maid to clean your house. That could be an objective for you. See how you could turn that into fuel? And I've just learned this recently. That's how you spin a narrative, right? I don't like cleaning my house, right? Okay, well then make enough money to hire a maid or find one that's cheap and that would work there, right? The gym. This is a big one. You don't like the gym? Don't go to the gym. What do you mean, Mac? You tell everyone to exercise all the time. You don't need to exercise at the gym. You don't need to exercise at the gym, right? I just went on a beautiful hike in the mountains, the jungle of Phuket today. Hour and a half, about 7 kilometers. Hopefully there's no coronavirus there, right? And that's another falsity, you know. I don't want to pay for the gym. I've had people, I don't like gyms. I don't like meatheads that hang out there. I don't really like them either. I'll tell you what I miss about a gym is when they have a basketball gym inside the gym. I love a gymnasium to play hoops because that's my sport, right? You can work out anywhere. And so it's just an excuse of why you don't want to do something that's actually something. And here's the thing, subconsciously, people don't even know they're coming up with these excuses, but they're filtering. And everyone does this when they break up, by the way. Oh, well, she did this, this, and this, and that's why we broke up. That's why I need to know your story and ask you some questions, because maybe you're framing this in a way that's not going to serve you so well, right? I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. Right. Oh, you don't go to the gym? I don't need to go to the gym. I don't belong to a gym currently. I did last year. It was great. It was fine. I go to the beach regularly. I do push-ups in the morning. I do a routine with a couple yoga moves in the morning, and it's been great. Really, with exercise, you don't want to exercise so much. 30 minutes a day. The important thing is consistency and just making it a habit. And the great thing about exercise is at some point, doesn't it feel good? It's the only natural, it's one of the most natural highs you can have in the world. And if you don't like gyms, like outdoor exercise is great if you live in, and then someone will go, oh, I can't go outside because I live in northern Canada and it's snowing. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to go in that weather. Consider moving. Oh, I can't move, Mac. Okay, then don't move. You know, move to a warm climate. Oh, I couldn't do that. You couldn't do it tomorrow, but you could probably save up for a year and move to a place. I remember I lived in San Diego. San Diego has some of the greatest weather I've ever been a part of. It's literally 70 to 80 degrees 11 months of the year. Sometimes it's a little bit cooler at night. The weather's gorgeous all the time. It rarely rains. And the lady that was my landlord, she owned a lot of property in San Diego. Jeez. Anyways, I was like, Jean, how'd you end up out here, hon? And she's like, oh, well, we were living in New York. Her husband was a doctor. And she's like, it was just cold, cold, cold. And she's like, I looked up the weather chart and I said, I want good weather. I want to live somewhere. And she's like, San Diego had the best weather, such and such. I don't know how she gauged it, but she was pretty damn close because it's the best weather I've ever lived in, right? And that's why she moved out there. She didn't move out there because she liked the beach. She never even went to the beach. She moved out there because she wanted good, warm weather all year round. That's solution-based, folks. That's someone else go, oh, New York's so cold. Oh, New York's so cold. I hate the weather here. Oh, God. There was another guy I worked with. He was from Chicago. And he had a big accent. He was funny. He lived in San Diego. Same thing. He's like, man, people don't realize how great the weather is here. And there was a lady moving to Chicago. We worked in a department store, and he's like, lady, you don't understand what you're going to be dealing with out there when you move there if you've never been in that weather before. And so where I'm going with all this, we do it all the time. We do it all the time. I do it sometimes too. I just catch myself and I'm like, damn, that was a good excuse, right? Come on. You don't want to be making excuses about why you don't exercise, especially when someone complains about how they look and how they feel. The number one thing as a human being that will make you feel better and make you look better is some form of exercise. Tell me I'm wrong on that. Is there something better? Maybe you can tell me about some pills. I don't know. Number 2 would be good sleep. Number 3 would be meditation, probably. There are some the thing I don't like are some of these guys. Okay. My coworker is Persian and grew up during the Iran-Iraq war, and it changed him. Well, any war would change most people, right? How did it change him? There are some of these extremely angry guys that have lots of hate that use MGTOW to justify their existence. There are always these guys that make things extremes with any definition. That's why I'm telling you, you can interpret anything you want and then create a narrative. And the one thing that I come across over and over again, someone generalizes a narrative that goes, oh, all women love shoes. All women want guys' money. And you just hear it all the time. And you're like, well, that's what happened to you. And someone's like, what? It's like, well, that's not how everyone is. And then people go looking for it. I don't think change me positively and can stand weak mentality. I meet a lot of young people in Europe. I don't think men necessarily think they are victims. I think a lot of men will fight and use to learn. Maybe people are getting softer. I'm in Gen X, so grew up in a different era. It's different. What's up, Judy Jack? The topic is an ex who is currently dating yet open to getting back. Kind of went through it, but if you have some questions on that, I love cleaning and dancing. Great. Good for you, hon. And you probably can do it at the same time. That's excellent. You know, someone that likes to clean and then they meet someone else and they don't like to clean, it's like that should be a match made in heaven. So you can just you can clean the house for your partner. Coach Mac McCarthy is right. Thank you, T-Mac. We are largely a product of our childhood program, but as humans, we can rewrite this program. It's huge, T-Mac. I was just talking to some, and some people go, well, this happened to me. And I'm not discompassionate or uncompassionate for it. I had some tough things happen in my childhood. And I've come to grips with some of those things. And I was framing them in a negative way for a long time. And, you know, I've come to grips with, like I said, I've talked this about, my dad was a bad alcoholic. He could be an asshole when I was young. But he fucking worked 9 to 10 hours a day driving a truck in downtown San Francisco. He had a tough job, man. He paid the bills and he put food on the table. And, you know, I never went hungry. I never went without. And that's probably why he was in a bad mood a lot of the time. Does it validate it? No. Does it make me understand it better? Yes. Yes. Can I deal with it better now? Yes. Is my dad much more laid back and more chill? Yeah. Surprise, surprise. He doesn't work 10 hours a day driving a big rig truck delivering food. And I look back, I wouldn't want to do that. $150 for the gym with a pool ain't expensive. It's therapy. I look at it like this. If you value money and you spend more money on the gym, then maybe it'll force you to go. But like I said, if you don't like the gym, then don't go to the gym. Go to a yoga class, go to a Zumba, go to a dance class. Like, think about the things that you like to do. Go for a walk, a run, hiking. Just this last month, I started doing hikes. I fucking love it. When I was a kid, I used to go hunting and stuff like that. And so, but just going for a walk in the woods, beautiful. No gyms are open here. Well, the alternative, I guess, is to go outside if it's possible. Good. Do it at home. Use YouTube. And my mom was just saying today she's going to get a yoga mat and follow one. You can work out wherever. Good for you, Deanna. I do push-ups and abs. I do push-ups every morning and burpees, and I do this stretching routine. I do air squats, and I don't do a lot of them, but I've noticed that by doing that for 3 months, you notice a difference. The only MIG channel I like is Greg Adams' Monkey Chimpanzee channel, where he awards the chimpanzee of the month, and at least makes me laugh. Delivering messages with humor resonates with me. Never heard of it, but humor resonates with me also. But it ain't the same if you don't hear a dude screaming like he is giving birth. In regards to what, Azam? I'm lost. I miss some meatheads. Okay. T-Mac, what about Sandman? A good LA Fitness in SF? Is that a question? I love gyms, but they're all closed now. Chimpanzee of the month. I've listened to him a few times. Canadian. Sorry, I lost my place here. Wow, I'm way behind here. He's all right. There was a short period where I got into it, but I'm monthly pass. Okay. Outdoor exercise is better. Agree, Mac. Excuses. I used to be a big excuse maker in my 20s. I'll admit it. Full disclosure. I look back and you just waste a lot of time. You should check it out. It's funny. Unfortunately, it's the side channel. It doesn't get many updates. Mac, we don't have your world first class beach, so we need a pool. Should I do a video there? Should I do a video of the beach that I go to? I'll listen a few times a week. Lots of humor in his vids. Okay. My ex just walked by. She says hi. Tell her I said hi, Azam. Cool. I wish I were living in a less developed country, as they seem a lot freer and less regular. Colombia, there are street stands everywhere. In Canada, you'd never get off the ground trying to get a license. Well, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, but living in Thailand, it's the same way. And when I go home to visit, I mean, what street stands or whatever you want to call it, yeah, the towns are more alive. There's more people outside. It has to do with the weather too. But you're right about the license thing, T-Mac. Next time, ask her, how you doing? Nah, she gave me no teeth. The no teeth smile. She's still mad. I ignored her last text. Lipo. In regards to what? Nice entrepreneurs in cars is from that area, and he's all right. Smart dude. Don't get better. Don't get bitter. Get better. Great. That should be a fucking tattoo. Yeah, he's just north. If you're rich, I met him before. Okay. You told me, Rob. True that. T-Mac, yeah, he pushes the membership model with the live stream. The videos are fairly informative, though. Alex D, how are you? I actually owe you a response to an email. I apologize. Things have been a little bit busy. Thanks for reminding me. If you don't want to end up being a victim, then don't engage with your ex. That's a way to do it. That's a way to do it. Out of the... How you been, Alex D? I hope you're well, bud. How's the volunteer work going? Out of the gang, I like Rolo the most. I don't begrudge guys like that if they want to charge the big bucks. No one is forcing anyone to pay it. I agree, T-Mac. I don't know this guy's channel that you're pushing or supporting, which I don't mind. But like people have a big issue with Corey Wayne paying $1,000. Well, then don't pay it. You know what I mean? They get all pissed off. Rolo's book is a must read, which is The Rational Male. And I agree. I think it's a great book. I think it's well put. And I think there's a lot of humor to it. And there's a lot of truth to it. And it's entertaining in a lot of ways. Vancouver is really nice right now. Too bad everyone is staying indoors, going for a bike ride tomorrow for sure. Good for you. I want to go on a hike. I've heard it's great. You've never been on a hike, Deanna? I've heard Rolo's book, T-Mac, in regards to pushing themselves in the gym. Okay, gotcha, bud. Everything except the first 50 pages or so, but he's an atheist and I'm a Christian, so obviously you don't see eye to eye or some foundational philosophy. Okay? Yes, please video at the beach. Okay. I will commit to a beach video for you guys. And you know what? I keep thinking when Rob's like, everyone's indoors right now, make more videos, make more live streams. I'm on deck, folks. I'm on deck for it. I'll go to the beach. Tomorrow I got a live coaching session in the morning. And it's been beautiful recently. I'm sorry to tell you, it has been nice. In regards to saying what's better than exercise, laugh at it, I'd say lipo. Okay, you said lipo. Okay, got it, then. Good joke. Botox. There was someone, I was just in a group, and this woman, I said, what? This is funny because some of you guys would get this. Does everyone know maybe not everyone, the show Martin with Martin Lawrence? So this woman was part of a hiking group that I was with, and I didn't know all the people. And she's kind of a bundle of joy, talked about herself quite a bit. I guess she's a singer or performer of something, some way. And she's like, oh yeah, like I have, when I go on stage, I sing like, like a black woman or something like that. Like, I think she was Asian descent. And she's like, I call myself Shanae because of the way I sing with such a big voice. And I was like, Shanae? And I was like an alter ego. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, alter egos. That's cool. I mean, a lot of people use that because Beyonce had an alter ego and this and that. And I'm like, but when I think of Shanae, I think of the show Martin Lawrence had, Martin and Shanae. And she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I'm like, well, maybe you're too young because that Martin Lawrence show is like 20 years old. Martin, Bro Man, Fifth Floor. And she's like, actually, I think I'm probably older than you. How old do you think she goes, I'm 41. And I'm like, yeah, you are older than me. And she's like, Botox. And I was like, okay. And I thought to myself, yeah, because she has zero wrinkles or anything. And this guy that was 71, that was great shape, was part of the hiking group. He's like, yeah, Botox is fine for the first 4 years. And then people look like shit. And the lady's face just went, like, just dropped. Anyone know Shanae from Martin? I'm just curious. In regards to you saying that, okay, every health guy is pushing home workouts. Athlete X just uploaded a really good one that I'm going to start. They are great. Love Athlete. Nope. Have you never been on a hike, but people tell me it's awesome? Wow, Deanna, where do you live in the world, Deanna R? Beach party. Okay, we can assist in material if you need. It's been okay. The volunteer work is a pause mode right now because of the quarantine. Oh, okay, that makes sense, bud. I hope you and your family are well. Yes, more live stream. Yes, T-Mac. And yes, I've been waiting for your email. Was about to go no contact, coach. I will respond. If something's happened between the time that you emailed, I apologize because I told you I'd get back to you, and you did do a paid response, which I responded to originally. And I had one more thing. I don't know the lady with the voice talent. I don't know that lady with voice talent. New Orleans, over there, New Orleans, the bayou. They have an interesting accent over there, huh? A lot of duck hunters in New Orleans. I'd love to go to New Orleans. I'd love to go there. I always think of Super Bowls because there's been a lot of Super Bowls there, and my friends have gone there for there. My mom was born in not New Orleans. I forgot. No, she wasn't born there. Excuse me. My grandfather was in the Air Force. My grandfather was French. My grandma was Spanish. And so my mom says they didn't want to have, this is random. My mom said they didn't want to have the kid in Louisiana because people would say she was Creole. But Creole, I believe, is African, Spanish, French mix, if I'm correct. And they were Spanish, French. So I think they had it mixed up. They came back to San Francisco and had my mom. I actually don't sound like people here. Oh, really? Are you originally from New Orleans? That was probably a bad accent. So I was just playing around. Robert Cook. Hey, Robert Cook. Any questions, bud? I don't know if you've been on before, but go ahead and shoot. We're up almost at an hour. Sabina, I like the city and I miss it. Yes, I did a lot of change after 2005. I'm not going to get into this because this isn't a coronavirus show, but I would encourage people to stay positive. I've been around some people that are just ultra negative. I was just talking to someone recently, and I was just like, can you just stop for a moment? Because you don't have to lie to yourself in moments like this, but you do need to reframe, from doom and gloom of everything. What's a northerner? What's that mean? Is that reminds me of what's that show? Game of Thrones. She's a northerner. So I have some other topics that anxiety can make someone feel sick even when they aren't. Yes. I don't want to get into this right now, but yes. Yes. I'm a northerner. What's a northerner? And like I said, you don't have to be fake positive, but you do have to be positive to a certain level. And what I would encourage everyone to do is keep your immune system up, right? Do healthy things. Don't drink and smoke cigarettes. Do those things that if you did get this thing, that you're gonna be able to fight it off. Then someone goes, well, even if you do get it, you're gonna pass it on to it's like. I told myself I'm going to double down. I'm going to do hikes. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to eat. I already do a lot of these things already, but it will be my excuse. Prevention is better than cure. Try to take care of yourself and age gracefully. T-Mac, I know you have got a full set of hair, you like to tell me. Day 18, no contact, heard nothing, staying strong. Robert Cook, congratulations. Day 18 is the most important day of no contact. You know why? Because it's better than day 17. This is funny because I was just in a coaching call I talked about earlier in the live stream, if all of you weren't here. And I was saying that I told this guy, give it 30 days. And he's like, so at 30 days, and I'm like, I just want to clarify. When I tell you 30 days, it doesn't mean anything. All it is a finish line that you've achieved 30 days of no contact. I'm not saying she's going to come back. I'm not saying you're going to feel 100% better. It's just a period of time that you can shoot for and then reassess your situation. You understand what I'm saying? And so if someone goes after 30 days, they'll call you back. Don't do that. But 30 days is a nice little, I done a month. Okay, let's see where I'm at. Let's see how I feel about things. Do I feel better? Am I still angry? Reassess things, right? If I was going to do a step-by-step plan with someone in a coaching call, I'd say, hey, let's talk in 30 days, right? That's something I'd probably add to my service because then you have some kind of a finish line to talk to me and see where you're at. What you're doing is you're trying to let the smoke clear to figure out what is what. Where's the damage? Do you really want this person back? And so this guy 2 days ago, if he was to be honest with me, he missed the sex. He's like, the sex was out of this world. She's highly attractive. And I said, in the next 5 days or a week, when he's sitting at home, feeling himself, I go, and he goes, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Right. I said, well, that's why I just go to 30 days, And he's like, well, dude, come on. I'm like, well, just be honest with yourself that this relationship beyond the intimacy isn't very good. It's not a long-term thing. I plan on burning out rather than fading away like the villain from Highlander. Do you want her back in your life? Sabine, yeah, but Vancouver is the mildest climate in Canada, so it's not so bad if you don't mind, right? T-Mac, I've said before, Victoria, where I've been a couple of times, probably one of the most beautiful places I've been to. It's funny, in Phuket, there was this couple, they make quite a bit of money. They have a big online business, and they're traveling the world. They've set up their life like this. I think they were in their late 40s. Really nice people. And so I mentioned to her, Victoria being so beautiful. She fucking went there the next week and spent 3 weeks. That's how much money they have. What a cool life. And then she came back. She's like, yeah, I went to Victoria. It was nice. You were right. I'd like to be anywhere but a big city right now. Yeah, that's true. I'm actually pretty happy that I'm not in a big city. I definitely wouldn't want to be in Bangkok or New York or one of these places. Yes, I would, but she has some mental health problems. Last speaking to her, she wasn't very nice. That's a big one these days. I come across this a lot, that someone has mental health issues and someone's trying to fix it, and the person trying to fix it has no idea what it's like. Or the bottom line is, any kind of issue someone has, they have to identify it as an issue first to work on it. I'm taking multivitamins. I'm a Christian, so the thought of the pandemic taking me doesn't worry me, but I'm concerned about martial law getting passed everywhere. Yeah. Enjoy it. Believe me, you don't want to be anywhere right now. The world has terrible places. Need to figure out, but can't get her out of my head. So let's help out Robert Cook in this moment of need, folks. Good. Sabina's great. What are some good tactics, as we've all been there before, to get her out of your head? My first reaction would be, don't fight the idea. Neutralize it. You're worried about her, you miss her. Say, instead of pushing that thought completely away, actually take that thought and go, okay, why am I thinking this? Why am I thinking about her? The other thing to do, Robert Cook, is to get extremely active. Take a cold shower, do 100 push-ups, go for a run with music. Change your physiology if the thought keeps coming up about her. A lot of people, oh, you just want me to exercise? No, what I'm saying is, exercise in any kind of form or fashion somehow has a way of getting you present immediately. Thank you. I don't mean to troll men suffering the affliction of male pattern baldness. Not that has the problem. Yeah, see me? I'm losing a little bit of hair there, bud. I'd say let it come and go. Feel free to think about her. Azam, I'd say the same thing. Don't get. Someone was saying to me in a live coaching a while back, so how do I stop worrying? You don't. You don't. I'm saying, like, don't fight worry. It's human. Try to neutralize it. Why am I worrying? Okay. And then I've told people this too. If you really going over the same things, get a journal and just write everything in your mind. My kitten helped me with my recovery. That's sweet. That's sweet. Exercise helps so much. Exercise is underrated. And like I said, get creative. Don't like the gym, or the gym's not available, do something else. E.g. I get that with having amazing sex with a beautiful woman, but it's only a small part of life, and our emotional connection went down the toilet. It is, but I mean, in the moment, let's just be honest. You don't know it's going to go down in the toilet. So I get it. And, especially if you haven't had it for a while, or it hasn't been a part of your life. There's some people out there that have long-term relationships that think that mediocre sex is just a part of relationships, or they think that the frequency that they've had over the last 3 years is just normal, when in reality, what is normal, right? Writing a journal helps to work over a situation. That's real therapist advice. Well, thanks, Sabina. I don't call myself a therapist, but I guess I have some attributes. Anxiety can be combated, Deanna. EFT is an interesting thing. If I was going to say the cocktail of holistic things you can do for anxiety would be dun 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 dun. Are you ready? Exercise. Oh, that's what you always say. Well, it's true. Number 2, getting proper sleep. Number 3, not drinking copious amounts of alcohol or coffee. Number 4, don't worry so much, because anxiety is from worry. Usually anxiety comes from worrying about the future. So what are some things that could put you in the present? Yoga is outstanding. There are things you can do. I find listening to sound helps, like rain sounds or relaxing sounds. Have you ever heard, it's a really beautiful instrument is the hand pan? I've mentioned this before. I went to a sound bath at a yoga studio, my yoga studio, a friend's yoga studio. I think it's called a hand pan. It's fucking cool, man. Really cool sound. And the crystal sound. I mean, I agree, Robert, though, certain sounds help. The Jose Silva method is that's what I've been following for my meditation. Stream, I just spelled meditation wrong. Meditonian. Thanks, Sabina. I appreciate that. I just take Visceral. I'm not familiar with it, so I won't say anything about Visceral. Reading today that anxiety can be enhanced. You don't have to let go of coffee, but you have to limit it. It's like I drink coffee, but I drink one. Don't drink 3 or 4. I have a question. If a child grew up with separation anxiety, will that affect them once they are adults? To be completely honest, which is what I do, I don't know what you read about separation anxiety, so I'm not sure. I haven't read. I can guess, and I'm not going to do that. I haven't read up on what separation anxiety means, so I'd have to ask you to elaborate on it. I believe, Alex, what you're saying is that you've read an article or read up on separation anxiety. If a child grew up with that, will that affect them once they are adults? My short answer, absolutely. Everything that happened to you as a child affects you. It's seeds and roots of who you are. I'm wondering what your definition of separation anxiety is. But what you do with anything from your childhood is you revisit it and you rewrite the narrative. So you can actually do that with timeline therapy. You can do that with hypnotherapy. I'm developing a set of questions. I'm actually doing it as a case study right now with a couple clients before. And I've used the hypnotherapy method that Kay Heatherly, she's from San Francisco. I've talked to her repeatedly, and she said it was okay that I use her script. And basically, it is a script in some ways of letting go of some things. So, Alex D, I'll send you an email about that if you're interested, and that might help you with that. I just don't. What happens is someone goes, "Oh, separation anxiety. You don't know this, and this term." I didn't read an article directly on separation anxiety, so I would be speaking about it not from the psychological textbook that came from, if you will. But that absolutely is going to affect you as an adult, unless you can go back and get at peace with it. I could help you with that. Alex, that's a good question. Use the anxiety to consume self-help books and listen to a podcast. You'll be more focused than any time in your life. That's a good point, T-Mac. When you're ready, so a good point is, Alex D, if you find that that's true about yourself, then you start looking for solutions, here's the thing, you talk to me, you get some tidbits from me, you read a couple different books, you do different things, and then you kind of get some nuggets along the way. But I'll send you an email about that. And if you want to get deeper on that, I can help you with that. I've helped other people with it, and I have a format of doing that. Use the anxiety to consume self-help books. Okay. Or how much do you drink daily? God, I'm pissed I don't have my mouse. Use the anxiety to consume self-help. Okay, I just said that again. She broke up with me on New Year's Eve, but spoke to me every day after the breakup. As of the 9th of this month, she stopped talking to me. I remember this story being written recently, I think. Ukulele? Are you Polynesian, Eric? I got niece and nephew are Polynesian, so I've heard a few ukuleles, a few ukes. Sabina, I only take it when I have attacks. It is always to reflect without punishing yourself on mistakes. Do it in a humorous way. What is that in regards to? It helps with your mindset. I'm actually diagnosed with depression. You want my real take on that, Deanna? Don't accept it. I don't know what journey you went through or how you came about that. I respect it. I got compassion for it, but don't accept it. You can reverse depression. Would you guys agree on the live stream? I mean, there's extreme versions of it, but don't take that as a sentence for the rest of your life, hon. Do you know what I'm saying by that? Agreed. I suffered anxiety for 2 years after my dad died. My ex left me, and then granddad. I couldn't take medication. Alcohol worsened my symptoms. Well, at least you realized what didn't work. That's tough, man. I mean, I just got chills. My dad hasn't passed, and I'm not looking forward to that day. And so I can't relate to that directly, but I've had a scare before. But I commend you for not taking medication and realizing that alcohol wasn't the answer. Exercise and omega-3 helped me a lot. Well, there you go. There's a guy. Sometimes I wish I could introduce you to some of these people I meet in the coach, because they're all I'm close to them, And he had a really traumatic childhood, man. Overcame a lot, and doing yoga and being healthy and quitting drinking, and he smoked a lot of weed. He said it all added up to him, overcoming a lot. Aaron, I find alcohol helps me, but it's not a good idea. Well, I mean, prove to yourself, Deanna, you can go without alcohol for 30 days and see how you feel. Do it as an experiment. You are welcome, dear. Work step by step for yourself. Remove toxic people from your life. Eat healthy. You will get better. For me, my sex life with my ex-wife was terrible. So my ex-girlfriend knocked my socks off. I think we were matched in that department. She used to say I was the most perverted guy she had ever met, which I think she meant as a compliment. I hope so. Good for you. And see, the thing is, when you're in a new relationship and you didn't have something before, sometimes you can overlook some other things. Better to substitute a glass of wine with a cup of tea. Alcohol is a no-no. I've just recently cut way back on alcohol. I never considered myself to be an alcoholic or have a problem. But this last year, when my dad had a stroke and he had been drinking a lot the last 5 years, I thought to myself, well, I'm going to cut back myself and see what it's like. I actually, full disclosure, I vowed to not drink for the full year. I broke that. And I've had a couple beers 4 or 5 times this year. And I've only had more than 5 beers once. And I didn't even really like it. So I haven't been missing it. I've been enjoying not drinking. And I do love a good cold soda water with lime. Sabina, the healthy eating I have been doing, especially since I've gotten sick. Sorry to hear you say a breakup is a breakup. Don't let her talk to you. I switched to decaf, but I get really good stuff that tastes just as good. In terms of insanity, worrying about the breakup. Okay. I'm just basing it on a textbook definition, which is being attached to your parents, being anxious when separated from parents. Yeah, the reason I said that, Alex D, is I'm just saying if you read it from a textbook, what people do sometimes are like, oh, well, it didn't say that in the book for my answer. And so, I don't like to put boxes on things like separation anxiety. I realize people like terms. I would rather, this is just my approach, Alex D. I'd rather talk to you specifically about the problem than call it separation anxiety. I don't know if that makes sense with you, because then what separation anxiety does as a topic, people go, and this is not you. This is just my own theory with these attachment theories that are out there. Oh, I'm attachment XYZ. Oh, I'm attachment this. And then someone identifies with those things and somehow makes it okay as if it's something they can't change. What I'd rather do is go, okay, what happened when you were young? Okay, well, your dad wasn't around. What happened? Like go through the problem rather than just label it. It can affect your future love life, but here's the thing. If you broke up and you're starting to comb, here's the thing, Alex D, that you're getting to, and I'm going to tell you right now, it is absolutely the holy grail of breakups. Listen to me, Alex D, because we've had a live coaching session, and I know you respect my advice. You're at a stage right now where you're getting to a point because in the beginning of your breakup, you were doing some blame, you were talking about your ex and what they did wrong and what wasn't fair in some ways, dot, 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 dot. And now you're suddenly starting to go, let me look at myself for a minute. And I don't want you to look at yourself and not like yourself or hate yourself, but what do I want to work on? What do I want to get clear on? And that is where the sweet spot is. That's where you're not going to feel like $1 million. You're not going to get your ex back, but you are actually going to make that breakup serve you. You got me? I guess that can affect your future. I can't help it. I don't think of it as a life sentence, though. I will get through it. Good. You understand what I mean, right? You won't just get through it. You can annihilate that fucker. Well, here's future boyfriends being duds in bed. Most perverted as a compliment. Guess that can go both ways depending. Yeah, Rob. That's what I mean. Depends on the definition. Takes time to adopt all changes your behavior. Your brain needs this physiological time too. Yep. Sabina, I'm trying to, but it's just a bit harder to get through. Deanna, let's do a live coaching session, hon. Let's unpack this thing. If it's not useful and helpful, I'll give you your money back. Rob, when a woman who you know enjoyed sex with you tells you that, then it's a compliment. I've been trying 20 hours of fasting a day. I'm at about 9 days. Good for you. I'm not really big on fasting, but I've heard good things about it. Yeah, you love food. I love food, yeah. I love food. I think for fasting for me, I'm not looking to lose weight. I'll think about it, Mac. Yeah, no problem, Deanna. I mean, even if it's not about a breakup, I can help you with this stuff. I've gone through, and part of my approach that's a little bit different is I'll relate things to my own life. And some people would say as a therapist or something like that, oh, you shouldn't do that. You should never do that. Well, I have my own style. But, being 39 years old, having a few different jobs, having some ups and downs, having some, different things, that's my approach. And I'm saying I've had depression, not for long periods of time, but I know what it feels like. And I'm just saying you can get out of that neck of the woods. It's a bit hard at 16 or 17 on, but fun crushing 2,000 calories in 3 hours. T-Mac, that is good as I am a woman, 12 to 14 hours interval overnight. That's how hormones stay in balance. Good for you, Sabina. Good for you. Good for you. All right, folks, hour 18 minutes. It's been lovely. Any closing questions, as I like to ask? I'm going to have to change this chair. I got this great table that I just got that's beautiful. And I got bar stools on it. I thought this would be really good. I think Mac is cool. It feels great to chat with him and like someone who generally interested in your story and get into it with you. Thanks, Azam. I take that as a compliment. It was really good chatting with you also, bud. And that's usually the feedback I get from a lot of people. Listen to some health guys, including an interview on RX Muscle who have been okay. I really like this chat. I need to get on here more often. Well, the complaint is that I'm not on at the same time always, and that's been a work in progress for a long time. But here's what I will do. I will commit to some sort of beach video in the next 48 hours. It might be on my iPhone. It might not be high quality, but I will take you to the beach, which is 5 minutes from my house, which is beautiful. I just always thought I don't want to create a channel where like, oh, I'm at the greatest place in the world kind of a thing, but you guys would like to see it, right? It's like we have such this subculture in social media now where everyone wants to make everyone jealous, Thanks, Sabina. Yeah, I have a live stream and I've had a lot of people tell me like, oh, it's going to blow up and you should have more subscribers and you should have more views. And I'm with you. I haven't shifted it into high gear and I haven't gone all out on social media and advertising, but I'll take the group I have over anyone. I'll take Rob IS. I'll take Azam. I'll take Sabina. I'll take Judy Jack Burton. We got a little small tribe here. T-Mac's been on deck for a little while now too. And it's nice. It's nice. It's really nice. I appreciate it. All right, folks. I think that's going to be curtains. I wish everyone to stay healthy, stay good. Are you on tomorrow? What is the topic? I'll give you a choice, Rob, since you asked, because these are two things that you asked about. Your ex is married and still wants to have contact, or the grass isn't greener. Which one you want, Rob? Put your thumb on the gun. Matt, keep voice for new video. Yeah, I did 4 hours in a live coaching, and you guys want to hear something funny? I did a 4-hour live coaching 2 days ago, and a lot of talking. Okay, we're both Americans from California, so it was da 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 da. And I got off, and my voice I had a little bit of a sore throat, and I'm thinking, oh shit. It's like right now, if you get a sore throat or you're a little bit parched, you're like, oh shit, am I okay? Okay, the second one was your ex is married and still wants to have contact, right? That's the one we're going with. All right, folks, take it easy, stay healthy, stay good. Curtains.